Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Cultural Arts Corner podcast. I'm John Wilson, Director of Cultural Arts at the J, and we are on the precipice, just a few days away from the St. Louis Jewish Book Festival. And so I am here today with our Director of Literary Arts, Hannah Dinkel, and she's going to be joining me to talk about all the wonderful programming that is coming up. So, Hannah, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, John.
Well, one thing that I have learned is that this is your first book festival where you are curating the entire thing from the very beginning. A year ago, you had come in, when it was already developing, kind of hit the ground running. So tell me about what it's like to start this process from the very beginning, work with your committee, and just some of the things that you've learned doing it now from the get-go.
Sure. So, first of all, I've really enjoyed the process. Actually, it's daunting that, this festival is just so large, and I feel like there's just, you really need to retain the prestige and quality behind the festival. Even just looking at the few, like 5 or 6 brochures that I have at my desk, we just really have top-rate authors every single year. And so I was definitely going into it wanting to retain that. And then, I was just so impressed with the lineup last year and, how smoothly and seamlessly things run. But doing it all from scratch this year, it did have challenges. And I think really trusting in the process is the greatest takeaway from this year. That it seems like a complete mess. There's just so much to not only authors, but, even just, flights and program timings and, if they want a moderator, there's so much to secure, but it really is a long process. And I do have the amazing committee backing me up, and they're there to help. They want to help. They're there because they want to be. They're, amazing volunteers. A lot of them have been doing this since basically I was born. And it's a lot of moving pieces, but it's a fun challenge. I feel really lucky to be doing it, and it does all come together.
And this year you've spread it out over 2 weeks. We're Sunday, November 5th kicking off to Sunday, November 19th. And typically there's like one keynote speaker that, really grounds the entire event. But you have so many popular authors this year that you decided to pivot, and we coined this term headliners. And so now we have a handful of headliners that are with the festival, throughout its 2 weeks. So just give me a rundown of who those headliners are.
Sure. So I'm really excited also that they're sprinkled for the duration of the festival. That we, really all of our authors are top notch, but we have, these headliners literally from start to finish. So Martin Fletcher is starting us off on November 5th, this coming Sunday. Then we have Rebecca Rosen coming back. Martin Fletcher also has been at the J many times before. We have YouTube influencer Andrew Ray coming to talk about his Basics with Babish cookbook. Really excited about that. We have Rebecca Minkoff joining us for Women's Night, fashion designer and just businesswoman. She's an amazing person. And then closing off the festival on November 19th, we have Mitch Albom, who has a new book coming out. Really excited about that too.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Martin Fletcher opening night a little bit. So he has a new book called Teachers, and this is a book where he talks about all the influential people that were in his life as he was growing up, and just the idea of what teachers bring to the generations below. But the war in Israel is causing a pivot with his programming. Can you tell us about that and what we might expect on opening night?
Yes, sure, absolutely. So first of all, Martin is an absolute mensch. He is a wonderful person. It's almost ironic that he wrote a book about teachers because he is so invested in people learning from him. He teaches writing even in his retirement. So, there is really, there are few people that are as well versed on all things modern Israel than Martin Fletcher. He was bureau chief on NBC in Tel Aviv for more than 30 years. And he reached out to me and said, it seems strange, even inappropriate to be just giving a book talk when you could be picking my brain about all things Israel. And so, obviously, his book, Teachers, the ones I can't forget, as you said, kind of follow up on those, people and stories that he, hasn't forgotten over the years. But, there's going to be a lot of parallels since obviously he spent his career in Israel. But it's really an evening to come and have this amazing opportunity to really learn from someone that has that nuance, that has that expertise, even on the geography, the different players. You keep hearing about Hezbollah in the north. Where did they come from? He can clear that up in a really accessible way. And I really encourage anyone who has any questions at all what's going on in Israel to come in and listen to Martin, because it's going to be a great program.
That's really wonderful. So he's going to just really talk about all of his 3 decades of experience covering Israel. And you talked about, people that have questions, they should come because they're going to be able to learn. Will there be an opportunity for people in the audience to actually ask some questions?
Of course, that is a vital part of just the way we build programs. There are always question and answers sessions immediately after. And then also all our authors do book signings, and you can ask short questions there too. And I know that Martin is really excited to interact with the community.
Yeah, it's going to be a great way to kick off the festival for sure. But we also have, for lack of a better term, non-headliners. But I mean, that's not to say that the other authors that are coming aren't incredible, because the whole lineup is incredible. And we don't have programming every day, but we have programming most of these days between the 5th and the 19th. So there's a number of different authors that are going to be giving day programs, evening programs. You can't mention them all, but do you just want to highlight one or two that you're excited to share with the community?
Sure. So I'm really looking forward to Cynthia Ehrenkrantz joining us to give her perspective of surviving the Blitz, surviving the war in Allied Europe as a young Jewish girl. That's really a perspective and testimony that we don't have a lot of. Obviously we have a lot coming out of Axis Europe, but she is a great storyteller. She really has a very touching story of, being sent to the countryside, away from her family to survive the war, and really excited about her. Rabbi Diana Fursko is coming to talk to us about modern anti-Semitism. And even better, the regional director of the ADL here in the Midwest, Jordan Kadosh, is going to be interviewing her. So again, that's another really great opportunity to come and get some of your questions answered. She, again, great storyteller. It's going to be a great program. So those are two that really stick out to me.
Well, that anti-Semitism talk is also even more poignant.
Yep, and timely.
Yeah, and timely. So that is something about the curation of this book festival and the way that your authors are willing to pivot and to dig a little bit deeper and dive a little bit deeper, just knowing what's going on in Israel, in our own country, in the West in general, because anti-Semitism is absolutely on the rise. It's unmistakable, and I just think it's great that we have programming for the Jewish community, the non-Jewish community, to confront it, to talk about it, and share how it's affecting everyone and what people are feeling about it. So some really wonderful people in your lineup, Hannah. So as I've come to know you, I mean, books are your absolute passion, which is very, very appropriate. So, in general, what is it about the ethos of the book festival, the engagement with books, the engagement with author presentations and getting to connect with authors? What makes this so special for you, and what makes it, you think, such a vital form of connection for the community?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I think it comes down to just promoting that lifelong learning, that I know we have in each of us, but, it's creating that opportunity to, come together, first of all, as a community, be engaging with topics that either are longstanding interests of yours or newer hobbies. and just doing it in a space that is accessible, welcoming for all. And, and of course, as you said, I'm a book lady. And so, part of that is promoting literacy and, and not just as in being a good reader, but literacy on a wide variety of topics, even if it's your favorite historical fiction, novelist to be able to plug in and see what they've been up to and what they've been writing. Every single topic that, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, memoir, take your pick from our lineup this year. All of the topics are contemporary, timely, now topics that are of interest to all. And again, it's the broad variety, even of authors, that come to us, that it really there's something for everyone. And I think that I think that's why this is so important and special to me. I especially during the festival, it's crazy, it's chaotic, but as soon as the programs start, I sit there and I'm like, this is what I get to do for a living. I feel so lucky to be part of it.
Hannah, you've been so wonderful to work with, and just getting to know you throughout the year and watching you thrive during the used book sales and all the meetings that we've had as you bring authors to the forefront and start seeing the festival fall into place. And so I just think you've done an amazing job, and I think November 5th through the 19th is going to be incredible for our community.
Yes.
So thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us today. And we say break a leg in the theater. I don't know, break a spine of a book or something. I don't know what to say.
There you go. Love it. I'll take it. Thanks, John.
So, thank you so much. Everyone, if you're watching this, we hope that you already have your tickets. We still have all access passes that are available, as well as all the individual tickets to all the different events. We encourage you to come, bring friends, make this a community event, make it a family event for yourself. To get tickets, you can go to stljewishbookfestival.org, and you can also call our box office at 314-442-3299. That is it for now. We'll be back with another episode sometime in the future, probably before Into the Woods at New Jewish Theater. Until then, definitely watch a film, pick up a book, go see a play, engage with the arts, and engage with all the arts and offerings that we have at the J.